Tonight we bring you a true story involving real people. On this episode of 12 Minutes,
I'm Ed Balls.
I'm Richard Bobbin.
And I'm John Johnson.
On this episode of 12 Minutes, a seemingly normal medicine building in southern Florida houses a dark secret, and it all has to do with stem cells.
But what are these stem cells? In elementary school, we learned that cells are what make up our body, and they are the building blocks of life. Stem cells are responsible for creating these cells and are the foundation of how our body grows and repairs itself. According to the NIH, these undifferentiated cells, as they're called, have the unique ability to create new cells of different types, like liver cells or blood cells. Relatively recently, doctors have been conducting research trying to harness the healing properties of this ability that stem cells seem to have to treat certain diseases that have been long thought to be untreatable. However, these new experimental treatments are regulated by the FDA through the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, and have gone through extensive trials and experimentation before being approved for widespread use. So extensive that over the past few decades of research, there's only one FDA-approved stem cell treatment, the transfer of blood stem cells to treat certain blood-related issues.
To start, a legitimate stem cell trial on humans would require preclinical data, such as animal models or research on the topic before the FDA would approve the trial. Not to mention years of human testing before the trial is approved as a treatment. However, just going online today and looking up stem cell treatments will result in millions of clinics claiming that they can offer you one of those very treatments for issues ranging from stroke to paralysis. That is, if you're willing to pay a price. Many of these clinics require payment, often in the tens of thousands of dollars, before they can begin the treatment. But there's a catch to these stem cell clinics. Their treatments don't work, and in fact can actually do more damage or even cause death. Yet these clinics offering illegal treatments, even though some of them are already known to the FDA, have proliferated in the US due to the FDA's inability to enforce its stem cell regulations. Doctors across the country continue to take advantage of the sick, dying, and helpless simply to make a profit, using faulty science and made-up claims to sell their snake oil treatments.
One such clinic is housed in that medical building in southern Florida, MD Stem Cells, a biotech company based in Ridgefield, Connecticut. Its claim to fame, a stem cell treatment called Scott's, which is advertised as a cure to blindness. MD Stem Cells, headed by Dr. Stephen Levy and Dr. Jeffrey Weiss, conducts its treatments in southern Florida at a location called the Healing Institute. The procedure, as explained on their website, involves isolating stem cells from a patient's bone marrow and injecting them into 5 different places in various combinations depending on what treatment you paid for. The stem cell they have opted to use is known as the mesenchymal stem cell.
Stem cell experts will explain to you that mesenchymal stem cells, which can be isolated from the bone marrow or fat tissue, have a unique ability. They can hone in on areas of injury, using various chemical signals to find their way. Once at the area of damage, these stem cells, as the NIH explains, begin to release chemicals that stimulate your body to regrow itself and repair all the damage. It is their potential to heal and the relative ease of isolation that attract many of these clinics to these cells.
MD Stem Cells has already operated on many patients using these mesenchymal stem cells. However, results remain unpublished, aside from one seemingly effective case. We decided to investigate MD Stem Cells and the people behind the company to find out more about how the clinic is curing blindness, as they say. But all we found were pagefuls of downright frightening secrets and lies.
The first thing we came across in our investigation was into the company website. The website looks hastily made. Its contents are riddled with spelling errors, even in some of the important information, like the address of the Healing Institute, which can be found in Florida. Looking past all of the errors in the contents, the information actually provided reveals more frightening flaws. They attempt to describe what stem cells are, claiming that stem cells can undergo many divisions, turning into 2 cells at a time. The definition continues on, but based on the weak and downright incorrect information provided, it seems whoever wrote it has little to no knowledge on the topic beyond a Google search.
We also found that they say they're registered by the NIH as a legitimate trial, making their trial legitimate. However, the NIH itself states all you need to get registered is to fill out a few simple documents that anyone can do, and that they don't go through and police the trials that get registered, meaning anything can get posted, fake or real. This means that being registered in the NIH does not contribute to your legitimacy. They also provide links to scores of scientific articles on the topic of stem cells to show that the research shows what they're doing works. However, most of these articles that have been published are in fake journals and completely made up. Others are just on unrelated topics that have nothing to do with stem cells, and one just linked to football coverage of the 2014 Rose Bowl game.
And finally, the procedure for the treatment outlined on their website was extremely vague and lacked all details. All that is stated is that mesenchymal stem cells obtained from your body are going to be injected into your eyes. The cost, the length of the procedure, and all relevant information is all missing. And none of the information about how it is done can be found anywhere. Because of this, we decided to contact MD Stem Cells to find out more about their treatment. I called the number listed and got sent to a voicemail box that had not yet been set up. We also emailed them, one of the emails listed, only to find out that the email account does not exist. Our last hope was that the email address we found for Stephen Levy would exist.
We emailed him saying that we had damaged our optic nerve and that we wanted to know more about his treatment and what can cure our issues. He did reply to us. However, his reply looked like it was a generic copy and paste, with sections copied straight out of the website.
He also goes on to explain the 5 different methods for injecting the stem cells, 4 of which are complete bogus. 1 is into the tendons of your eye, 2 are inside random spots of your eyeball, and 1 is into your veins in your arm. All 4 of which are not targeting the area of damage, the retina, and will likely cause the stem cells to die once injected if they don't form tumors. The last method of injection is into the retina, however, so some stem cells might survive the initial injection.
He failed to elaborate more on the procedure actually was, and he could not say more until we sent him medical records on our eye issue. He also mentioned that the treatment cost would be $20,000 and proceeded to explain why patient-funded research is far superior to any other option, a statement that many academics would disagree with. A last-ditch effort to find out what is really going on in this clinic resulted in us finding and messaging a former patient of his on Facebook to ask what their experiences were like. We waited for a reply. We decided to look into the science behind the treatment more.
We started by scouring the web for research papers on treating blindness with mesenchymal stem cells. The only papers we could find on the topic were written by Dr. Levy and Dr. Weiss themselves, and are riddled with errors and lack any results from their Scott study. There was no published and respectable papers showing that what MD Stem Cells was doing worked. Furthermore, one paper reviewing all known stem cell research says that there's no current research into mesenchymal stem cells and their treatment for various eye diseases on any level, even in animal models. In fact, we even found a study showing that what MD Stem Cells was doing can cause blindness, sending one man who went totally blind after his treatment. What it boils down to is that the science says this treatment does not work. All right, go for it.
Furthermore, Weiss himself seems to agree that the science says it doesn't work, claiming in an interview with the Houston Chronicle that he can't explain how it works, a sentence that you never want to hear from your surgeon. This led us to look into Dr. Weiss and Dr. Levy to try and determine if they knew anything about stem cells at all. This led us down many roads of shady medical practice and a history of webs of fraudulent companies, lies, and online robots promoting their treatment. In the end, we learned that neither doctor has any professional training in stem cells whatsoever. This was later confirmed when our Facebook patient messaged us back.
Her description of the treatment had slightly more details, explaining the timeline, which includes only one follow-up 2 days after the treatment. Something no legitimate doctor would ever recommend doing. This is when she dropped a bombshell. According to her, Dr. Weiss told her her eyes would be red after the treatment, not because of irritation, but because the stem cells were red. However, according to Harvard Medical College, if they really are stem cells, they should be clear. This is a major concern and shows that Dr. Weiss had no idea what he's doing. Not to mention, our former patient also explains that her vision didn't improve at all, meaning she just wasted $20,000, the cost of her treatment.
This is about the point where we ended our investigation, concluding that MD Stem Cells was indeed a fake clinic, offering treatments that were unproven and faulty, and just for their own profit. We only began to scratch the surface of the horrors we uncovered in doing this investigation, but we hope to leave you with one thing. Never pay for an experimental stem cell treatment. They're only after your money, not your